Hello. Welcome to any combo lords joining me. Some of you, it's been a minute since we chatted, since I haven't had the chance to live stream recently. You know, busy things come up in life, a mix between spending some extra time on my last main episodes, which I've been doing pretty good on the Combo Class channel. Make sure you've been up to date on my main things I've been doing about. We did a Connect 4 episode, an Infinite Nines episode, a multiplication tables being taught wrong episode and such. Well, today we're back for another little... There's a lot of spooky sound. Oh my god. I really hope those are cats making all those noises in the background because they sound bigger than squirrels. So yeah, we'll deal with the spooky noises in the background as we illuminate them maybe by lighting some candles. Now today, in addition to chatting, I do have some activities. Now the topic, there's sort of, as usual, some combo class updates I like to share and stories and such, as well as sometimes a mathematical theme or topic, today's of which will be a game theory topic about what makes a solvable game, similar to what was going on in the latest main episode about Connect 4, but in this case we will take a different tangent, not overlap too much of the same content. Now, somebody, just to answer our comments real quick and make sure everyone knows that I am tuned into the comments on our more casual-ish streams like this. Thank you to everybody who has joined me here and to whoever asked about 3x plus 1. I did do an episode about that problem. So look back on the main combo class channel about like 7 episodes or somewhere around that ago. Now, we are illuminated right now by the light from my computer screen, which does pretty good. I could even brighten it up more and give us just a pure artificial brightness, but while we're out here in the darkness, instead of relying purely on the technology, and that doesn't even illuminate the background as much for me or for the rest of the world here, as much as just illuminating my face or what's right in front of the camera. What if we illuminate all of the corners with a few candles? Maybe these candles will end up in a pumpkin that we may carve, because in the last stream we did a while ago, we carved a bigger pumpkin, which rotted pretty quickly. It rained on that thing, and it rotted way too early. But I still have several smaller pumpkins. Now, about Halloween, I actually went to a quite wacky Halloween party last night. Maybe I'll show you a video clip from that in a minute. But I like Halloween. It's a fun holiday that's coming up. This is the main sort of end of the weekend before it, because it landed on a weekday this year. But to anyone doing their Halloween, it's a great holiday. Have fun dressing up and doing silly costumes and perhaps consuming a little more candy than you would the rest of the year. Don't worry about a stranger poisoning your candy. Perhaps be cautious about which door you knock on, but as far as the candy being poisoned, I would not worry about that. There's no historical cases of that. So if you're a parent, feel free to go trick-or-treating with your kids, but if they're like less than 10 and you send them to some door, it's not going to be about poison candy. It's about, if you're a good parent, you go with the kid to the door if they're less than 10 or something. I don't know. I'm not a parent yet, but the rule is, in my sense, the basic vibe I'm getting at is Halloween's actually pretty safe. Halloween does not have like more instances of death than many other holidays. In fact, I believe more people probably die on Thanksgiving than Halloween. And there's a sort of poison candy myth that goes around that's fully false. And there's also some people who don't like the vibe of Halloween for whatever reason. Maybe either they hate occult things at all, and so they hate that Halloween's like half occult, or they love occult spooky things and they think Halloween's doing it too cheesy. But maybe it's okay to be in the middle. Maybe it's okay to have a holiday that is half genuinely spooky and half doing that in a cheesy fashion. Now, we're going to light a candle or two here, just to make sure we're illuminated properly. And as usual, if you see me do anything with fire, we're not doing anything like funny, crazy with fire right here today, probably. But if you see that in any of my episodes, do not copy it, because fire is a dangerous wild beast that I am a savage, insane beast around here in the classroom, but some beasts are more powerful than even me. Now, I don't think many things are more powerful than my potential, but fire is. Fire's on that list of things that even me, as my egotistical elemental self, I know fire is more powerful than me. So we must follow its rules and be careful. It does add some pretty cool illumination, though, you gotta admit. Now we can turn down the artificial brightness and have more of a real Halloween-y. Now it looks more like I actually would look to another human with our candles and our many, many apples. Now you may notice that after I move those pumpkins, there are many apples left. What are these? These are apple. These, I don't want to spill it on the computer, but there is about 36 apples in here. And the reason for that is because, like I mentioned, I share a yard with a few other houses full of some cool fruit trees, a bigger yard than normally my family would be able to afford because we share it with some other houses. Currently, the other houses are being rented out. Oh, I gotta remember to keep my voice down. We're doing a quieter stream because, you know, it's late. It's a Sunday. Even though it's a Halloween-y weekend, I don't want to get the neighbors hating me too much. For moral reasons. I don't really care if they hate me for some silly reason, but I don't want to be, you know, waking up, preventing the neighbors' kids from getting sleep or anything. So we're gonna, you know, make sure I talk closer and quieter to the camera when possible on this one. But basically, these apples, the front two houses that I share the yard with, are currently rented out to people who don't feel as comfortable just gathering fruit, or don't need as much fruit, or don't care about the fruit as much yet, or don't know. I don't know. In any case, there's a lot of apples just left for my house. There are more than a third of the apples left ready to pick in that yard. And there's several varieties. And in fact, the game theory aspect we're going to talk about today will try and get two different colors so we can, you know, to make our game theory part of this clear, we'll try and get reds and greens. So we have two tasks, kind of. I'm going to maybe try and chop into these pumpkins. I know that the smaller pumpkins are harder to chop into. I don't want, like, the knife to, like, jolt sideways and cut my hand or something. So the smaller ones are not built as much to carve as to decorate, so they're harder. But we're going to try for some reasons. And then we also, while I explain some game theory concepts, which I do have a game theory topic about these apples, which we'll try and note that red and green will be representing something about different players to some degree. We will maybe chop some apples because I have so many apples that my plan is to make applesauce. I don't know what else to do with them apart from make a large, humongous batch of applesauce, which will be pretty awesome. We're going to start by just cutting the apples with big enough chunks that you can taste the different flavors, melding them with water, you know, classic H2O, cooking that in a pot for a while and stirring it to give it some love. And we're going to start with just apples and water, see how it tastes. And then, you know, there's likelihood we will want to add some lemon, some cinnamon, a tiny pinch of sugar, things like that. But perhaps the apples and water will even make their own batch that is pure in a way that I want to keep on its own. Now, we may chop these apples today, or maybe we will chop them another day. I'll put them to the side for now while we focus on the pumpkins a little more. But we are going to take a batch of apples to represent the game theory stuff we'll be talking about. So why don't we line up 5 reds and 5 greens? And we'll have those out of our mix. Now, to anybody scared of these little bug bites on the apples, those are fine. If you bite into the apple, no, probably don't bite the part with the bug bite. But we're not biting right into the apple. If I was, there's enough room right there to take a good bite. But we're not. We're going to chop it off, and we will avoid the bug bites. You know, if you live in a yard and you don't use pesticides and you just let your apples grow, you get some caterpillars and little flying things that like to eat little holes in the stuff. That's okay. They're bugs. They're doing their thing. squirrels eat some stuff too. There's one here. Check out this one. Wait, hold on. Check out this one. This apple I left out, the squirrels ate a ton of. So, I mean, I don't know who else. Maybe a human ate that, but I'm assuming it was the squirrels. Just sitting in some corner here. And so the squirrels really went at this particular apple. Like one squirrel, maybe the skin tastes worse. So one squirrel like breached the skin, and then the rest of the squirrels like kept coming back to get the interior part once the skin was breached. Now, let's see. Somebody says there is sound problem. Can anyone confirm or deny that? I don't know if there is still a sound problem or if that is on your end. We're talking pretty quietly in this stream, and I have it as loud as I can right now. I can move our camera a bit closer, but I don't have a special mic right now, and I can't bother the neighbors too crazily, so if you just mean that I'm quiet, I'll try and be close. But let me know if there's any weird sound error or anything like that. Now, as far as all of our cool comments, somebody asked, can I do a front flip, then a back flip? I don't think I can do either of those. I've had to get some crazy surgeries. There's part of some combo lore within grade -1 involving some surgeries I had to get, so I cannot currently do any front or back flips. I used to know some martial arts, so I used to be able to do a handspring, which is sort of like a front flip, but you touch the ground to a degree. So I've never fully front flip. I actually, way back in the day, I'm pretty sure I pulled off a back flip or two, but it wasn't something I like got good at. Now, thank you to everybody confirming that the sound is still cool. And then that means I can not need to try and yell or tweak. If I tweak any volume settings, I'll destroy everything. You know how bad I am at tech when I'm trying to run the live stream. Eventually we'll have a cool team where we can, you know, someday, trust me folks, we'll be out in a combo castle in the woods, but we'll somehow have Wi-Fi out there still. And in our combo castle in the woods, we can be as loud as we want in live streams. When we want to light some fires, we'll have a room that is very safe to do that in, and we will have a lot of cool nature outside where we can be as loud as we want. And we'll have a team who will make sure that I just get to control the ranting and the props and the sets and the stuff like that and the topics, and they can handle making sure the camera and the sound is good, because I can be good at dealing with cameras and sound, but not to the degree that I want to be focused on that while I am trying to be a presenter and trying to discuss various things with my combo lords. Somebody asked where I'm from. I'm from this area where I still am at the moment, which is the Bay Area of California, sort of in the middle western part of California of the United States. I have family from, my parents, are from the United States as well. I have grandparents from various places, so I have genetics from a variety of places throughout Europe and such, but I've grown up in California, essentially, particularly the area around the Bay Area. Now, to everybody commenting, thank you so much, and we are going to try and chop the largest of the pumpkin. Well, I feel like, okay, we'll base it on a comment. Someone leave a comment if they would prefer what they're more in the mood for, the pumpkin chopping taking priority, and then we talk a bit of apple game theory, or the apple game theory taking priority, and then the pumpkin chopping taking a little bit of stage. If anyone has a preference, let me know, because our two main activities involve possibly chopping apples, but more so discussing them mathematically, and fully chopping pumpkins and trying to get inside these suckers. So leave a comment if you have any preference of those. While we do that, I'm going to assemble my tools, because you see, we need a good little workstation, and that's why I brought many tools. In the foreground, I previously just had all of our props, all of the essential, and I call them props, but they're really tools and items. They're props that are usable. They're not like a plastic version of a prop that's just for the camera. They're usable items. So prop to some is an insult, but to me it is just one trait something can have. If something was purely a prop, that could be an insult, but to say something is a prop should not necessarily imply that it lacks other awesome traits. Now, here are some pumpkins, but we want apple game theory, so these are going to go in the background on the edges. So some apple game theory. Cool. Then we're going to see what pumpkins we can chop. So, for some apple game theory, I wanted to use these as an example of solvable games, because I realized, you'd see, some of the simplest solvable games that I didn't discuss in the main episode about Connect 4 I recently did involve two players adding or subtracting certain things. Now, on Connect 4, they are adding things without any subtraction. They add the same amount each time in different places. You couldn't have a game that was just you add the same amount in the same place. Otherwise, that would, just be like, I do one, I do one, I do one, I do one. That'd be like apple, apple, apple. There's no game there. But if we had a variety of not where you went, but how many pieces you went, it ends up making like one of the simplest games. Now, there's a simple old-fashioned game called NIM, N-I-M, which we're not doing right here. We're doing one that I just thought of while I was playing around with apples, but it is reminiscent of a reverse version of NIM. NIM regards, I believe, having a pile of something where players subtract certain amounts at a time. And we're sort of doing an inverse version of that at the moment, where we're going to start with nothing, and we're going to add a pile. And we're going to create different little games to see if in each game, if player 1, who will be the green apple player, or player, red, we had be first in Connect 4, so we'll have red be first, player 1, who will be the red apple, or player 2, who will be the green apple. Which one of those will win the game? Or, in this case, there will not be forced ties. This game, you'll see, will result in just one player or the other winning. You see, the way we're going to win is we're going to say, players can put down, at a given moment, a certain amount of apples of their color into the total pile. Let's say we were like old-fashioned cavemen playing this. There's, one tribe had the red, one tribe had the green. And what we're playing is, you can put a certain amount of apples that we'll pick a range of into the pile, and then as we pick from the pile, or you can't subtract, you only add, once you hit a certain number, whoever placed the last apple will get it all. Now, of course, we could do an exactly flipped version of this if we said whoever places the last one when we hit the number loses it all and the other person gets it. So we could flip that as well. But we'll say whoever places the last apple at the right moment gets it all. So let's say you wanted to place 5 apples to keep it really simple. And let's say you had to place 1 or 2 at a time. Well, if you were just cavemen, maybe you wouldn't be sure. Maybe you'd be like, okay, I placed an apple. Okay, now I'll place 2. Oh, man, then player 1 can place 2, and they won. They got to 5. Dang it. So maybe player 1 would think, okay, that worked. I'll place 1. And then player 2 is like, okay, next time I'm just going to play 1. Now, what if this player's like, okay, now if I play 1... they do 2 and they win. And if I do 2, they do 1 and they win. So maybe I shouldn't have begun with 1. Maybe I should have begun with 2. If I'd begun with 2, then if they had played 1, I can win with 2. And if they had played 2, I could win with 1. Now, we start to see that when we're dealing with 2s, we want to be in a certain range. We don't want to send the opponent to be 2 apples away or 1 apple away. because then they're in the range, of course. And so to prevent that, we want to get in a modular arithmetic sort of cycle related to evens and odds, where when you get to right at the end, if you're the last player, the way you would lose would be if you are left with exactly 3 left. If we're playing the 2 game, where you can add 1 or 2, you're screwed. If you add 1, they win. If you add 2, you win. Now, however, if you had been left with 2, or with 2 left, you could win with 2. 1 left, you could win with 1. 4 left, you could have just placed 1, and it's not done yet. So we can limit this now to see that when there's 3 left and it's your turn, you've lost. So you want to get the other person to have 3 left. Well, what if our game had been, I can place 1, 2, or 3 apples. And let's say we're going to a bigger limit. We're going up to 10. We want to go up to the first player to get to 10 apples in the pile gets the whole pile. Well, let's say that if we're going with 3s, we start to find that you lose the game when you're left with 4. And so you fall into this cycle of a winning theory for one player or another that is very modular arithmetic-like. We've studied modular arithmetic on our clocks. And if we're dealing with 3s, our winning strategy relates to how many it starts in being in a spot that is what I call a pre-threeventhrod, post-threeventhrod, or threeven. So if we're starting with 0, so if the amount you're going to, same thing if you start with an amount and you're subtracting from the pile. If we're allowed to add up to 2, we're looking at being cycles of mod 2, where when you're 1, congruent to 1 in mod 2, it ends up leading to this win state. But you can't be too close. Congruent to 1 mod 2 a little away. But you can set up that win state earlier because you can guarantee a win from the beginning dependent on your number. If we have 3s we're going with, the very last move you're trying to get up to 1 more than that, like a post-threeventhrod from the end. Or a pre-threeventhrod, depending which direction you're going. And so leave a comment if you can figure out for a given amount of apples you can go up to. We're going to say you can't do 0. It would be slightly different if you include 0, but would still be a game. But it would be different because it could be the type of game that lasts infinitely, whereas this condenses it to a finite game, which will follow what's called Zermelo's theorem that I covered in that episode that maybe I didn't link it. I think I linked it in the comments. It's Connect 4. You'll find it. It's doing pretty well. Somebody asked if it's a train in the background. It is. I live near a train, so we do get train noises, yes. And the train hopefully does make it extra spooky, because I love spookiness. I went to a very fun Halloween party last night, folks. I just got to show you one clip. You folks think I'm just like a geeky mathematician in my backyard and stuff, but I actually do some wild stuff with my friends that I don't know which of it I should tell you about yet or not, but all I'm going to say is, if you wonder, how I get up to some of my nights when I don't have time to stream, yeah, that is a shark on a stripper pole. Okay. So, that's all for now. Yeah, no, I was just at a crazy Halloween party last night. But anyway, I'm going to get some of my friends to join on the streams, like I've said, quite soon, as well as family members. Oh, God, I'm bringing this up. As well as family members and other people, because I'm going to start going back at some point before long to picking a weekly day or two when I do my live streams in addition to my other content. and the weekly day or two, I'm going to start inviting more random guests to pop by, such as friends and family members. Now, with the apples, we'll come back to the apple game theory perhaps either in this stream or next stream as we cut these apples, but I do think that while we're out here, we might have to, eventually we might have to move the stream to my room if we end up going really late, because I don't want to bother the neighbors on a Sunday night too much. We're not even that close to the neighbors I share the yard with, but to all the other neighbors over there. They're very respectful and cool of my combo vibe, so we don't want to abuse that power. Now, while we're out here, I did want to chop into one of these pumpkins. Somebody gave me what was like a designed to be pumpkin carving tool. So, I'm holding it from the blade end. Bad idea. Shouldn't grab stuff like that. This is supposedly designed to be for cutting pumpkins. These pumpkins are not designed to be chopped as well. When I get the new bigger pumpkins from the store, they've been working so well in that they're designed to be hollow. That one I carved on the last stream carved so easily we have the dullest knives here, and it carved like butter. They designed the pumpkins just for chopping, not for eating anymore. You could try and eat it, but I bet the new pumpkins, if you were eating the old ones for flavor, you'd be like, these new ones are full of air and they don't taste as good, because now they're designing them to be chopped, at least the ones they sell in October, due to this Halloween holiday, that I actually like. I think Halloween's cool. I think Halloween's the second best holiday after April Fool's Day. Now, and watch out, because tomorrow could be November Fool's Day. Every month can have a Fool's Day, theoretically. Tomorrow is also Day of the Dead for some cultures, so I'm a little more hesitant to put a Fool's Day there. But I did promise that every month begins in a Fool's Day. Although we will also, respect those who want to keep it less Foolsy for Day of the Dead or whatever. Although that's a pretty, they do sort of Foolsy in a good way things on Day of the Dead often. So maybe they will endorse it being called November Fool's Day as a nickname. I don't know. There's no really they there. I just mean whoever follows that holiday. There are many holidays. I am Jewish-ish in that that is in my... Okay, this is not cutting well. I need an actual knife. This thing would snap and cut my hand. This will maybe help cut the eye out or something. But that is really designed for precision, not for power. Good thing I brought a bigger knife. So, okay. But, anyway, holidays are funny. I was saying that I'm partially Jewish, and that, these do not cut well. I need to try the other one. They're so thick that I feel like if I try and cut in too hard, it's gonna, bend the knife in a weird direction and cut me or something. This one's a little easier than that one. We're going for the smaller one. For some reason, this one's easier. So, let's try sawing it. I don't know. I haven't done that much, but we'll try it. Yeah, sawing is working. Anyway, I was saying that although I'm partially Jewish, I definitely don't celebrate all the Jewish holidays. Sometimes with my family, we'll do Hanukkah, or we'll do sometimes the Friday night lighting candle ceremony called Shabbat. Very mild version of it. I'm not very religious, but although I believe in many spiritual things, I'm not a particular religion. Apart from a comboist, I believe in comboism, but in the Jewish holidays, they have a lot. If you look it up, there's Jewish holidays every single month, and so I wonder, if you really celebrate those. It's a big schedule to keep track of. So my family only does a few of them. So this worked pretty well. I chopped off the top, and now it has a layer that looks easy to cut through with a smaller knife. Somebody said they're Muslim, so they only celebrate the two Eids. And cool, yeah, everyone has their own beliefs of what they want to celebrate, which is all good, as long as people respect what other people want to celebrate. We should all love all of our own different holidays. Somebody asked what's my Halloween preparation level. Now, if you mean, okay, I wasn't prepared at the party I went to last night. They had a whole costume contest, live music, and everything. My friends throw cool parties. And, however, I wasn't ready. I was busy that day, so I kind of went as myself. I wore the lab coat and just made my hair really extra crazy. And then when I looked at myself in the phone when I was walking in, I was like, my hair doesn't look that much crazier than it normally does. I have a hood on right now, but my hair's always pretty crazy when we're in the second half of the grade, so I haven't cut my hair or shaved since you saw me do it on footage in the grade -1 finale. So this is the haircut I give myself, with 1 or 2 trims in the mirror since then. But so it's always pretty messy. So even though I was going for a mad scientist vibe, I was kind of just myself with mildly messier hair. Yeah, people were asking who I am, and I was basically like, yeah, I'm a mad scientist. I forgot my costume though. I just am a mad scientist. I didn't have time for a costume. Which is a funny little reversal. Oh, I should have brought a spoon. A spoon is what I need to hollow this out, to get all this gunk out. Okay, I'm going to run inside and grab a spoon real quick. However, you folks know the rules. We have to temporarily put out all the candles whenever I run inside to grab something, because even though I play with fire, or it looks like I play with fire, there are rules we must respect. Like I said earlier in this stream, I am one of the biggest forces of nature I know, but there are some forces of nature bigger than me. One of them is fire. And so we must blow out any fires when we leave, because I have a lot of joking rules for the combo classroom, but to remind all my viewers, in case any of you visit or whatever, I tell all my friends that fires cannot be unattended in the combo classroom. Every fire must be attended. Someone must be watching it to make sure that if it gets past a certain level, it is extinguished before it passes the next level. But right now, I'm the only one here. I don't have anyone running my tech or nothing, so we're going to blow out the candles while I grab a spoon and a cup of water and stuff, and I'll be back in 2-3 minutes, because actually I'm going to, grab a cup of water and take a breather and stuff, but I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes with a spoon to carve out this pumpkin, and we'll continue carving, talking about mathematical things, as well as various rare combo lore and fun. Love you all. Be back soon. If anyone... God damn it. If anyone leaves early, make sure that you check out the episodes on the Combo Class channel, like my new Connect 4 one. But I will be back soon. Alright, combo lords, we're back. Oh, but I have to still talk really quiet. Don't want to wake up all the neighborhood children and such. I don't want to be the villain. We're already comically the villain. We don't want to actually be the villain. So, thank you to everybody who's joining me here. Somebody says they feel like I've looked this way since I was 18. We actually go in cycles around the combo class. I look very fresh at the beginning of grades. We're in the second half of a grade. We're in the latter portion of grade -2, when things start to grow out a bit and get a little wackier. We'll look fresh again at the beginning of certain other grades. And whoever said mad scientist combo classes, that is what I described my outfit as to those who asked. I was like, mad scientist, but technically we're just being me. Now, let's light these candles again so we can carve something cool in this pumpkin. Our last pumpkin, we carved an equation that I think it rotted so quick. I think we can get that mini equation back on this pumpkin, even though it'll be hard. It was a miniature representation I tried to make of the equation 1 + 2 + 3 = 1 × 2 × 3 in visual form. We made it on a really big pumpkin, and it rained on it like a day or two later, and the thing rotted like instantly. It was weird how much pumpkins hated rain. So, we're gonna scoop this and make the similar type of thing, but see if we can fit it. I'll show you what I mean by my visual representation of that equation. I came up with a little way of drawing 1 + 2 + 3 = 1 × 2 × 3 that I think some aliens could theoretically understand, just shape-wise. You know, they might have different bases. They wouldn't know that the number 7 looks like a 7 to us or whatever. But perhaps, if they saw these seeds, they might say, oh, those are different units, and like in my hand right now I have 3 of them, they might say, in whatever their language is. They might have something to describe when there is like coherent different things that are similar, that we give each of those called a unit or worth 1, and we count them. So perhaps with little dots is almost the clearest way to represent something, a little series of dots in a cluster, then some sort of thing that we hope they know means an equal sign, and then another series of dots in a cluster. Could be the closest way to maybe send an equation to some aliens. So let's do that. I got a little hole pokey thing, and that would be a funny twist if I always joke about aliens are watching the combo class and have their own edit of the combo class where they edit together things that we don't understand are secretly important, as well as things that they like the moments where I stub my toe and hurt myself and stuff, and they probably use a lot of things I don't put in the episodes, but the alien cut is different. Maybe we'll get that someday. I'm joking about those, but with the pumpkins here, that would be a funny twist if the aliens have been watching the whole time, but they didn't understand any of it, and they were about to quit watching, and as soon as we make this pumpkin, they'll be like, oh my god, I get it, he's making an equation. This guy's doing something math-related. Okay, so thank you to all of the people asking random questions. Let me answer a few of those before I stab some holes in here. Now, somebody asked for a chainsaw. I don't have that one available. Somebody asked for pumpkin guts. We got them here, guts. Now, somebody asked for a drill. We're not going to use that either. We're going to use a stabby thing. Somebody said, asking what country people are from. I love how many different countries my viewers are from. It's so cool that we're all over places. And good luck to whoever's partaking in a robotics tournament. And somebody asked to name a car. I don't know if I can name almost any car. It's like, okay, Toyota or Honda or a Tesla or I'm not a car guy. Now, next, people said a lot of nice things, and the last question was what I do apart from math. I have many hobbies. I would consider my main 3 to be making videos, writing, and like I take many notes throughout the day, some of which are about personal memoir type stuff and philosophies, some of which are combo class notes, and some of which are for fiction books, and music that I make. And those are my main creative hobbies that I try and make things with. I will say that other things I deeply enjoy involve nature and, being in life with plants and animals. Now, and I enjoy laughter with my friends. Now, here, let's stab some holes. What we're going to do is start with a pyramid. So, no, I gotta make, it's really hard to get this straight. You see with this, okay, I gotta go this side. I gotta go this direction. Okay. Can't stab my hand though. So, what we're gonna do is start with a 1 plus 2 plus 3 in the form, and okay, I know these holes are small. We'll widen them. We will widen them when there's room. We're just gonna make the starter holes now. 1 plus 2 plus 3 as a triangle. A triangular number. Okay, we're going to widen them a bit with the tool. Let's see if the tool actually does anything good once we actually have the hole. Oh, this tool sucks. This tool is so flimsy. Oh, no, it kind of works. It just feels so flimsy. It feels like it was going to break my hand. That works, though. Saw a little hole. Yeah. Saw a little hole there. At the end, we're going to put a candle in it and see if it lights and glows through these. Not sure how well that worked. We'll have to see once we put the glowing stuff. Now we're going to try and make an equal sign that we need a blade for. So, equals. This is going to be hard. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Pumpkins are thick. Okay, that could work as the top half of an equal sign. It's pretty close. What about the bottom half of an equal sign? Uh-oh, I'm getting close to this dot, though. Okay, bottom half has to scoot over a little. Okay. I would say that's close enough to an equal sign for now. It might look really sketchy, but just let's wait till it glows, and then we'll judge it. Now, this represented 1 plus 2 plus 3, my triangle. How I represent 1 times 2 times 3 is by drawing 1 2 by 3 thing. It might just look like a 2 by 3 at first glance, but we can either add the times 1 by pretending we have dimensions and saying it is 1 deep, or just by saying that the times 1 is the amount of them. So we're going to make 1 2 by 3 right now, which will represent that 1 times 2 times 3 equals 1 plus 2 plus 3. Now this will scoot over a bit and jab these holes. We're making a 2 tall and 3 wide. This might work. Let's try and make sure all of these have all their full room through them. And we're going to put some candles in this. Let's put some candles in it and see how well it works. Uh-oh. Problem. The candles are like so melted in these things. Ow! 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 Yeah, the glass is really hot. How am I gonna get a candle in this? Okay, I need like... Okay, I have a mitt for this. I have a tool for this. Where's my phone? Uh-oh. Here we go. Okay. This was very close to falling off the table. Normally, I'm okay when stuff gets bumped off the table, but remember, we're trying to be quiet for the neighborhood children. Now, where's my tool for this? Oh, man. Dang it, I have like a fireproof glove that would be perfect for this, but it's hard to find in the dark. So, we're gonna see if I can just move it like this and like kind of stick it in. We're gonna see. It's really hot, but can we just jam this in? It almost fits. Come on, baby. Now we gotta, okay, maybe if we widen the hole a bit. Do not turn this into some innuendo. Okay. There we go. Maybe it'll glow through, even though there's glass in the way. I can't move the singular candles. I have more candles inside, but these are what we got right here. So now I got the glass with the candles in there. Let's try and relight it. I'm trying to get the other one lit. There's one lit, and I can't get the low. Oh, but one lit is enough. Look at this. We're gonna make everything dark except this. Watch this. 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals 1 times 2 times 3. It worked. Pumpkins are fun to do this with. We may do some more another day soon. I think I'm gonna need to wrap up tonight's stream shortly though, because I do have a lot of stuff going on in my life. In addition to my fun stuff with friends, there's also some harder family things that I won't discuss at the moment, but you know, you guys will all know everything about the secret lore someday as I publish my memoirs. For now, I may have to wrap up our stream and work on some things. Stay tuned because I have been dropping shorts on this channel. I haven't been sending to notifications because there's some that were previously on another channel that some may have already seen. Then we're getting back into posting the shorts that are new that I've begun filming. And I also mostly want you to stay tuned for the combo class episodes. Those are my best content, such as the latest Connect 4 one and the next one, which I've filmed a very crazy intro scene for so far. To answer any final questions right here, somebody asked, is there a rainbow abacus? Yes, I don't know where it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if you saw one in the background, because I believe I do have a rainbow abacus around. Now, somebody asked, can we recap the Apple question? I'll go into more answers in the future, but the question is essentially, you have a 2-player game, and if your goal, there are 2 variables. One variable is that each player, during a turn, can place either 1, 2, 3, up to some number. So the variable is how many maximum they can place, and they must place at least 1. And the other variable is a point at which once the pile hits or passes that point, the player who played the last thing gets it all. The question is, for a given size pile, which player, and for the combo of a given size pile and a given amount they're allowed to do up to per turn, which player has the winning strategy, has a way of forcing it so that they can always win. There will be one player or another, and if that feels perplexing, you can try and answer this after you watch the Connect 4 episodes pretty related to this. So, love you all so much. To anyone who just joined, these do stay live as videos. You can rewatch them after the fact. Mostly, although I say, I want you to watch the main episodes the most. If you're ever bored, look at the live tab on this channel, because there's a lot of videos on there of the lives that are a lot of bonus stuff for millions of hours of content for you folks if you ever need. In any case, I love you all so much. I have really big plans for this channel coming up. Just not like a specific thing, but a lot of fun, various sorts of content planned for this channel, as well as my main combo class channel coming up, despite me being a little more absent the past month. But we're on an awesome track. This channel's barely more than a year old, and we're now at 185,000 combo lords on this channel. A lot of those are shorts, so it's harder to judge how many of those are like deeper, truer combo lords. But my main combo class channel, where I've just put my main episodes right now, that is already at 35,000. So we got our combo army growing quite quick. You can also check out the Discord if you want to chat with more combo lords, or if you really feel the need to support, if you're extra helpful, which is really useful for hiring camera people and such, then there's a Patreon or a way to click memberships on here. So, love you all so much.